Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Creative Learning. I am Surbhi and today we are going to learn about for loop. In for loop we are going to see and focus about the following things in its introduction, why to select a for loop, syntax, its working, some additional feature of for loop, and example. For loop is a basic thing in both C and C++ language and its working remains same in both the languages. So what is a for loop? Coming to the introduction, what is a for loop? A for loop is an iteration statement also known as looping statement. What is a looping statement? A looping statement is a statement which executes a set of commands till our condition is true or until the condition becomes false. So how can we select a for loop? That is, under which situation should we select for loop? For loop is selected in situation in which we know in advance how many times are the command going to be get executed. Like in a month we have 30 days, so we know in advance that there are 30 days. In such situation similar to that, we can use for loop. Now coming to the syntax of for loop, here we have the syntax of for loop. For initialization, condition, increment, decrement, and its body. So we can see that in for loop there are 4 parts of the for loop, that is initialization, condition, increment, decrement, and its body. And one thing we should see in the body of for loop is that all the 3 components, that is initialization, condition, and increment, decrement, is separated by semicolons. I repeat, semicolon. Now coming to the working of the flowchart of the for loop, here it's a flowchart. See, here I have already drawn the flowchart for loop. So for, that is, we are starting, then we are initializing, then we are checking the condition. If the condition is true, we run the statement, then we increment, decrement, again we check the condition, and this process is followed till our condition is true. When our condition becomes false, the for loop terminates. So let's see here. Let's have an example. For I equal 1, I less than 5, I plus plus, and let us print. The coding language which I am using here is C language. So now we are printing the, I again say, repeat that I am using C language. If I have to print this thing in C++, I can use cout language, that is cout I. This is just a small part snippet of my program. Now let's see how this for loop works. First, one thing we should keep in mind is that the initialization of for loop take place only once in a for loop. So here my I is initialized as 1. It will be only for one time. Then it become I less than equal 5. Is my 1 less than 5? Yes. So my condition is true. So my condition becomes true. So first it checks, it initialize, which happen only for the once in our for loop. Then our condition is checked. Yes, it is true. So the command, that is the command which I have given here, will get executed. So the first output which I will get is 1. Then I will increase by 1, that is I plus plus increases it by 1. Now it again checks the condition. Yes, is 2 less than 5? Yes, 2 is less than 5, and it again get pointed. Similarly, this will work till 4 times, as I have given I equal 1 till I less than 5. When I become 5, we'll check the condition. Is 5 less than 5? No. So the loop terminates, and this is what we get as our output. So it was the simple working of our for loop. Now coming to the next part, that is some additional features of for loop. What are some additional feature of for loop? Like we can also initialize some of the variables which we are not repeatedly using in our for loop, like which we are not incrementing or decrementing in our for loop. For example, for I equal 0, comma p equal 1, semicolon, I less than 5, I plus plus. So here you can see, here let there be some body. Here you can see I am also initializing my variable p here. You can also do this one thing, but it is allowed only in C++ language, that if you have forgotten to create any of your variable, you can create it inside the for loop also. For int I equal 0. For int I equal 0. Here you see I have left the condition and increment decrement part. So this is also some additional feature of our for loop. Like if I have initialized my variable before itself, so then there's no need for me to write it in my for loop. Like in int a equal 6, I have initialized. So if I leave the space of my initialization blank and write other part of for loop, it is understood by the compiler that it has already been initialized. Like that, we can even leave our increment decrement part, that is we can increment our part inside our for loop itself. Some statement, let it be here. Then we can also do like this. Also we can have a infinite loop using for loop. Infinite, so for skipping all the, that is keeping everything blank, we have our for loop, and this says that our for loop is now becomes an infinity loop. So now coming to a quick recap, let's see what we have learned in for loop. In for loop we have learned introduction. As I told, it's an iteration statement. Why should we select a for loop? If we know in advance how many times the loop gets executed, we come to know. Then its syntax, here it's syntax. Then it's working, here is some working with some example. Then additional feature of for loop, infinity loop, and then here comes an example which I have compiled. So here you can see this is my phone, and in which I wrote my coding in C language. I repeat, it's in C language. So here we see that I have used the header file #include stdio.h. That's my channel name. Please subscribe to my channel. Then I have the body int main, int j, then the for loop, and the expected output for this program is asterisk 5 times. Let's see what's my output. Yeah, we get the same output here. So you can also download this app and keep it handy. Wherever you have doubt, you can use it. So guys, I have done with my for loop. For knowing about the working of nested loop, you can see my next video. And if you like my video, like it, share it, and please subscribe it. And if you want me to teach you anything more, you can comment in the comment box below. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.